crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Welcome home, family, and join us for the fun. Colorful guests, people everywhere under the sun. Interesting conversations, prayers first has begun. Invocation, manifestation, conversation then will come. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Let's start drinking some water, juice or tea. King Killer's recommended for you and me. Guayusa mixed together, maple syrup or honey. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Learn from the healers, crystals, pyramids. Learn from the healers, the artists, the seers, authors and teachers, dissolving your fears. Workshops of wisdom, the circle is wide. Plant medicine whispers, the planets align. All magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Crystals and pyramids, magnets that spin. Organ awakening the power within. Tantra and herbs, the gateways ignite. Shamanic drums calling truth into light. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Psychedelics painting vision so bright. Planetary activists guarding the night. Awareness expanding the cosmos in view. Higher vibrations are flowing through you. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Yeah. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Xenon and herbs, you'll feel much better. Drink your tea now instead of later. Stay ahead of your health. Health is always your greatest wealth. Oh, no, no. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Hey. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Mad science fun, tear the blast. Experiments under the sun. Sacred fire, prayers begun. Success and happiness, your destiny has come. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Yeah, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Learn from the healers, the artists, the seers, authors and teachers, dissolving your fears. Workshops of wisdom, the circle is wide. Plant medicine whispers, the planets align. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Yeah, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, crystals and pyramids, magnets that spin. Organ awakening the power within. Tantra and herbs, the gateways ignite. Shamanic drums calling truth into light. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Moorish Monday with Abdullah El Talib Mosi Bey on Magnets, Crystals, Pyramid. YouTube and Moroccan Post Media YouTube. Thank you. Our guest is having technical difficulties. He will not be on. So you have yours truly. Yours truly will be speaking tonight. And so I, found out about this about 15 minutes ago. So that he was trying to work out issue with his phone. So we have to reschedule. Well, El Kanah will be on every fourth Monday of the month. But El Kanah Bey will be on every fourth Monday of the month. So he'll be back. He's scheduled for next time he's scheduled for is November 4th, the fourth Monday of November. All right. So I'm going to be doing topic would be the stripping of our Moorish cultural identity. So I'm going to get into that aspect, the stripping of our Moorish cultural identity. On my looking, starting with Moors and Masonry, part 1. You see the book cover, the bottom part. Who are these imposters? Who are these imposters? So you have 3 from the ancient mystic order of the Veiled Prophet of the Enchanted Realm. The mystic order of the Veiled Prophet of the Enchanted Realm, established in 1889. You have the mystic order of the Veiled Prophet, the Muslim temple, the Ilbay temple, and the Islam temple. You have the ancient Arabic order of the nobles at the Mystic Shrine, now known as Shrine International, from the Morocco temple. Now you see there the Morocco, the Moorish, so the crescent moon, the 5-pointed star, the Moorish scimitar. Now there's a misconception that's been out there for a while among conscious Moors. There's some conscious Moors who are settled with a misconception that because the European Shriners put Moorish names on our Moorish fezzes, all right, the Moorish scimitar, crescent moon, star, they seem to think that makes it a Shriner's fez. The Shriner's fez. So put Moorish name. So if a conscious Moor, if I were to put a Moorish name on my Moorish fez, Islam or Morocco, Arabia, because those are some of the name of the shrine temples. Ilbay, and I'll put the crescent moon, 5-pointed star, and the Moorish scimitar. That now it becomes the Shriner's fez. No, so the Moorish fez, that's the pedigree of the people. That's the nationality of the fez. The nationality of the fez doesn't change because Europeans hijacked it. They hijacked it. They created an order. So when they say shrine, what does shrine mean? The etymology of shrine means bookcase. So they're like a museum, they conquered us. They subjugated us. So now so this is an honor, a memorial of their conquests. So they shrine. So they're enshrining their conquests. So it's a Moorish fez. Never. There's no such thing as the Shriner's fez. The renaming of our Moorish fez, the European Shriners and European mystics, the European Shriners renaming our Moorish fez, the Shriner's fez, is an act of cultural identity theft. That's an element of subjugation. It's cultural identity theft. Remember, keep in mind, my conscious Moors, there are Moorish names that they put on them. And they have the shrine tells them they use Moorish architecture. They wear Moorish regalia. But they desecrated the fairs. They desecrated the fairs. All right, they put a Moorish name on the fez. We're going to remove the emotion. They put a Moorish name, Morocco, Ilbay, Arabia, Islam, Al-Sadai. They've Moorish names, 206 shrine temples, 206 Moorish names. So this cultural identity theft. So we just want to put that in the proper perspective that there's not the Moorish, it's not the Shriners Fez. I remember being in 2000, I believe it was 2013. I was in Indianapolis, Indiana with a group of brothers, and we took pictures for Moors and Masonry Part 1 of the Shriners Parade. So that's why we went there. And I was Ustreaming. Remember Ustream? I was Ustreaming the parade, parts of the parade, and hundreds of Europeans, males, in procession, hundreds from all over. And a 5-year-old girl, and she appeared to be 5 at that time, and that was 12 years ago. And she was standing in front of her mother. And she pointed, "Look, mommy, they're wearing the Shriner's hat." This 4 or 5-year-old girl called the Moorish Fez and pointed emphatically that these European males are wearing the Shriner's hat. Where did she get that from? Where did she get to call it the Shriner's hat? She didn't say, "Look, mommy, they're wearing the Moorish Fez." You see the cultural identity theft? Renaming? That even our brothers, unconscious Moors, who are Shriners, they don't call it the Moorish Fez. Like, I'm saying that so let's look at this. Let's look at this. Just imagine that our brothers, unconscious Moors or Shriners, refer to the Moorish Fez as the Moorish Fez. Like, what would that do? Remember that we know they're not conscious. They're not conscious that they're Moors, but they're referring to the Moorish Fez as the Moorish Fez. But they've been indoctrinated to refer to as the Shriners Fez. Shriners Fez. Shriners Fez. All right, Moorish Fez. Yeah, you see my Moorish Fez? Don't forget your Moorish Fez. You got your Moorish Fez? Moorish Fez. All right, what would that do though? What would that do? We know they're unconscious. We know unconscious. But what would that do for stimulating the cellular memory, stimulating the historical memory, and stimulating historical conscious memory? Moorish Fez. Moorish Fez. But so what does the purpose of renaming, stripping the Moors of our cultural identity by renaming our Moorish Fez the Shriners Fez? It suppresses the historical memory, because there's so you're not saying more. They're not saying more at all. They don't hear more at all. More So there's no propping of who the Moors. There's no, because they're saying Shriners Fest, Shriners Fest, Shriners Fest, Shriners Fest. And I'm doing that just to make a point of that, because it's over. They're saying it over and over and over and over and over again, year after year after year after year. So understanding the social engineering involved of erasing the culture memory, the historical memory of a people, stripping a people of their cultural identity, which is an act of subjugation in international law. This is huge, my brothers and sisters. Huge. As I done a presentation, you see, we're looking at the cultural, you have the culture, the consequences aspect of nationality, the socio-cultural aspect of nationality, the political framework of nationality, and the legal framework of nationality. So we're looking at the consequences aspect of nationality. We have consanguinity, ancestry, lineage, descent, pedigree, parentage. That's the consanguineous aspect of nationality. The socio-cultural aspect of nationality, headdresses, rituals, clothing, ceremonies, language, holidays, dance, music. That's a socio-cultural aspect of nationality. But if you're talking about now the consanguineous and socio-cultural aspect of nationality are protected within the political and legal framework of nationality. The political framework of nationality involves defining the national identity of the people of Burkina Faso, the people of Senegal, placed within a national constitution, defining the national identity of the Senegalese people or the Burkinabe people. The legal aspect, legal framework of nationality involves the creation of nationality laws and the execution of nationality laws. That's the legal framework of nationality. So let's go looking at the political framework of nationality, whereby once the socio-cultural aspect, the socio-cultural aspect of nationality is protected within the political framework. The language, the official language of the Senegalese people of Senegal shall be, that's drafted in the Constitution. What is that doing? It's protecting an aspect of the cultural, socio-cultural aspect of nationality, the language. You also would have the national flag in some constitution. The national flag is described in the national constitution. The national coat of arms, the national seal, is in some constitutions. It's described in the Constitution, and others. And then you would have the legal framework of nationality, where through legislation, through the parliament of a country, they would legislate the national seal, which describe the national seal, the national flag, the national coat of arms, national holidays would be legislated. That's the legal, the socio-cultural aspect of nationality are being protected within the legal framework. Well, if it's in a constitution, that's the political framework, because the political framework involves, once again, defining the national identity of the people and governance. That's the political framework of nationality. But when a people loses their sovereignty the political and legal framework of their nationality is dismantled. Therefore, their nationality loses the political and legal force. The consequently remains, of course. That's their blood, ancestry, lineage. That doesn't change. Their lineage, ancestry, pedigree, genealogy, descent doesn't change. Absolutely. But we're talking about the protection, the political and legal frameworks, the political and legal force of their nationality is lost. France conquers China. If France were to conquer China and subjugate the Chinese people, France establishes the colonization, all right? Through colonization process, France establishes a political structure, a French political structure in China. France forces the Chinese people in this political structure, French colony in China, forces them into that legal system, that French colonial system in China, and places the Chinese people into a new citizenship framework. When that happens, the Chinese nationality no longer has the political and legal force. Yes, they're Chinese. Their ancestry, lineage, descent, consanguinity. But the political and legal force of their Chinese nationality is lost because their Chinese sovereignty is lost or dormant. So the political and legal the Chinese political and legal framework for Chinese nationality is dismantled because the sovereignty is lost, because France conquered China, established a colony, a French colony in China, and fought that. So now, understanding that is what happened to the Moors. We have yet our Moorish nationality, the political and legal force of our Moorish nationality has yet to be restored. Yes, you're Moors. We're talking about the political and legal force of our nationality. Ordered elements. So we saw the political and legal force of the Chinese nationality. What does that look like? The political and legal force of the Senegalese nationality. The political and legal force of the French nationality. The political and legal force of the Polish nationality. The political and legal force of the Italian nationality. What are the elements? What's in place? Has that been restored for the Moors? So going back to the European Shriners and European mystics, I'm tying all this in. They have maintained the culture hijacking, the stripping of our cultural identity. In 15, you have the Pragmatica, 1558. The 1558 Spanish Pragmatica. And so you have King Philip II of Spain put out an edict called the Pragmatica, 1558, forbidding the Moors to speak Arabic and wear their Moorish fezzes and Moorish turbans and Moorish regalia. That's subjugation. That isn't the Spanish Pragmatica is an act of subjugation in international law. I mean, stripping a people of their cultural identity. So that was practice. That practice France took on that practice. The Code Noir of 1685. That's the French Code Noir, Noir, Black Codes of 1685, applied in the Caribbeans. So they didn't say Moorish codes. Code Noir, black codes by the name of the instrument and applying that name to us, black codes. That's a stripping of our cultural identity and nationality. That's an act of subjugation. Then you have in the Louisiana Territory, Code Noir or black codes, French black codes of 1724, on how they wanted to manage and govern us in that our subjugated state. But they call it Code Noir, not black Moorish codes. That's an act of subjugation, an act of stripping us of our cultural identity and nationality. That's an act that is severe act. That is culture genocide. It's an international law violation. So that was continued. So the United States has maintained that stripping. It didn't begin with the United States. I went back to the Pragmaticas. That's why I started with the Pragmatica of Spain. Looking even going back to 1478 of the Inquisition. 1478, the Inquisition against the Moors, also known as the Spanish Inquisition. 1478. Then you have that after we lost our last Moorish kingdom, meaning losing total control with the Treaty of Granada, the surrendering Treaty of Granada, 1491, November 25th, 1491. But the Treaty of Granada protect the Moorish personal rights. So you have Philip under Charles V. Charles V, which is the son of Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand, and his sons Philip II, Philip I, Philip II, Philip III. So the Inquisition, the Pragmatica. So you have the Pragmatica of 1558 being forced, which is violating the Treaty of Granada. But what they did was they classified, stripping us of our cultural identity, renaming and reclassifying us as Spanish. So by the Spanish crown under Philip II and Philip III, renaming and reclassifying us as Spanish, it now removes the Treaty of Granada protection, because it's only for what? Moors. It don't read Spanish in there. Moors. So that was the motive of stripping us of our cultural identity, renaming and reclassifying us to remove the treaty protections of our personal rights. It's not out of hate. It's a motive to subjugate us and to erase our historical memory for generations. So this is the plan they put in place to erase our culture memory and historical memory. And look at the lasting effects. Here we go again. Shriners Fairs. Look, mommy, they're wearing the Shriners hat. Shriners Fairs. So we got our brothers and sisters, brothers who are Shriners. See, Shriners Fairs. Shriners Fairs. All right. What would it like? Moorish Fest. We have to remove that. Don't take. They can't see the name more. They can't hear the name more. Why would that? Why? It unlocks. It hasn't unlocking they don't want anything to unlock the historical memory. Shriners Fest. Shriners Fest. Shriners. This is major. So our brothers, our conscious Moors are not helping, because our conscious Moors, there are conscious Moors, I said earlier, that are not helping because they call the Moorish Fairs The Shriners Fez. They're Moorish names. It's no, they desecrated it. It's still the Moorish Fez. If I wrote all over this, if I give me a marker, scratch it all out, whatever, it's still Moorish Fez that I just scratched out and, whatever, messed up. It's still Moorish Fez. Because that's the nationality of the Fez. That ties to the cultural identity of the people, the nationality of the people. Moorish Fez. And keep in mind that there are Shriners, there are Moorish names. There aren't Shriners names. They're Moorish names. 206 Moorish names for each shrine temple. And they have, you look up the various shrine temples, you'll see Moorish, that they are designed in Moorish architecture. And in the older pictures, in the late 1800s and early 1900s, 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and even 60s, you see pictures online of they fully decked out in Moorish regalia doing their parades. So you look at Moorish architecture, Moorish regalia, which includes Moorish shoes. You have those with the turban. They'll have the Moorish fez, and then have a Moorish turban wrap, fully decked out. What's his name? Jason Kelsey. Jason Kelsey, formerly of the Philadelphia Eagles, he was the center, the star center for 14 years. He retired 2 years ago. When the Philadelphia Eagles won their first Super Bowl, and just Jason Kelsey formerly of the Philadelphia Eagles, what did he have on at the parade? Jason Kelsey wore Moorish garb at the Eagles parade. But what did the people call it? Shriners, mummers outfit. Cultural identity theft. They renamed Moorish regalia that Jason Kelsey, look up Jason Kelsey, Eagles parade, and you'll see he have the turban, the whole Moorish regalia. They call it what? The mummer's outfit. So people seen the parade, and remember he became famous for that because he wore something. He wore the shrine. He wore the mummer's outfit. Right in our faces. Cultural identity theft alive and well. The European mummers hijacked it, our Moorish culture as well. So you have January 1st every year, the Mummer Parade here in Philadelphia. And you'll see different processions, it's full Moorish garb. Oh, mummers, look at the mummers. Mummer's outfit. Look at the mummer's outfit. So CD, don't say more. Mummer. Silent whisper. Mum's the word. Silent whisper. Shh. Okay, don't let them know that they're Moors. Shh. Don't let them know that this is Moorish regalia. Shh. You can't have them hear the word Moor. Shh. Keep that secret. Shh. So continuing. Look at that. This represents our Moorish power. I had Brother Atif draw this in 2000, I think 9 or 11. I think 2009, I commissioned Brother Atif to draw this. Brother Atif Jabari Ill. So this something I thought about, 16 years ago. And then so I said, I'm going to put this on the back cover The enslavement of Europeans doesn't fit the general theme of European world conquest and colonization that is central to scholarship on the early modern era. Robert Davis, professor of Italian Renaissance history, Ohio State University. So the Moorish enslavement of Europeans doesn't fit the general theme. So what is the general theme of European world conquest and colonization? Absence of the Moors, absence of Moorish power, absence of wars with the Moors, absence of being captured by the Moors, absence of Moorish treaties. So they omitted that. They omitted any aspect of treaty relationships, war relationships, captivity, ransoming strategies with the Moors. Omitted. So it doesn't fit. So Moors and Masonry, Moorish treaties with these European powers and are being Moorish captivity of Europeans, Moorish sieging of their ships doesn't fit the theme that their omission scam, omitting us. So doesn't fit their theme of European conquest and colonization, which is central to scholarship on the early modern era. The age of exploration in the textbooks. How did Portugal and France and England and the Dutch Republic and the Netherlands, Spain come to world power and domination? By defeating the Moors. Go to Moors and Masonry Part 1. By defeating the Moors. Robert Davis writes about that. Linda Cowley. By defeating the Moors. Looking at the Moorish history, the power of Moorish history that they have omitted in the general public. To get you see my website scrolling across the screen. Anyone interested in getting Moors and Masonry Part 1 and Part 2, How Venus and Moon Rule, and my other books, go to moorsandmasonry.org. I want to thank Brother Hank for continuing to scroll my website across the screen. This is key to, with conscious Moors and unconscious, we have to strengthen. We are saddled, man. Conscious Moors are saddled with misconceptions that weakens us. Like we're in quicksand. And so we have to, now you see, continue to attack and address misconceptions. Our foundation is quicksand. It's not solid. I'm going to read an excerpt. So we have here Budget Meakin in his book, The Moorish Empire, A Historical Epitome, documents the statistics of redemption of European captives from Morocco. Oh, they don't want it. From Morocco. The immense total of slaves redeemed by the various orders can be but vaguely guessed from such data as are now obtainable, of which the following are specimens. In 1255, two English friars, Gilbert and Edward, sent home 460 slaves by a third, Friar George, remaining themselves to suffer martyrdom for preaching a fate which likewise befell two other English friars, Patrick and William, after having delivered 590. In 1307, Raymond Albert, prior general of the Order of Mercy, delivered 300. Some of them from Algiers. In 1313, Guillermo Giraldo and Claude de Saint Romans, the preacher, rescued 236. And in 1330, 236 were brought back to Barcelona. In 1338, Juan de Luca recovered 116. And in 1342, Domingo Pardo 150, including 50 on credit. In 1402, Juan de Herrera and Bernardo Arenas redeemed 258. And in 1408, Dennis de Mercado Mendoca and Servin de Paris, who also converted a grand rabbi and brought him back, released 140. In 1411, Servin, this time only averred by the intervention of the emir from the deaf, forth preaching the gospel, for which he was ultimately impaled in Algiers in 1418, liberated 140. In 1431, Gomez y Martinez, who had in 11 journeys ransomed no less than 2,984. In 1447, Luis de Sarmiento and Bartolomeo de Segovia rescued 189. And in 1450, 240. In 1517, Antonio de Cisneros and Marcias de Cordova returned 109 to their friends. And in 1519, then Diego de Gallegos, no less than 500. All right, so this is, let me, you have, go down. In a memoir addressed to Cardinal Richelieu in 1626 by Razzelli, a fleet is requested to chastise those pirates who have commenced to arm by sea these 8 years and have taken more than 6,000 Christians and 15 million liras. In the same year, a petition reached the British government from 2,000 poor women whose husbands were detained in woeful slavery and grievous torments in Morocco. And a decade later, similar petitions were presented by 1,000 of those bereaved women. Nearly 20 years later, 1641, an estimate was in Totion 3,000 to 4,000, and Marrakesh 5,000 to 6,000, and Sally and 15,000 to 1,500 to 2,000. All right, so see these numbers here. 1685, 800 then in Mequinez, 260 were English, and in 1690, all the 3,000 taken at the full of Laurakish was enslaved. So I just want to just give y'all, this is important. So this is stuff, this is information that I've researched, have in my book, I've studied. So this is my reference points. These are my reference points. So when I stand strong on our Moorish power. '16. So continuing. All right. So I'm gonna I just want to give y'all a feel of this Moorish power, that so you can see the age of exploration in the textbooks. There's no mention of the Moors. When you're looking at the Atlantic framework, the Atlantic Sea framework, the Atlantic framework, there are authors who who've written a paragraph or two sentences, but there's been a concentrated effort to omit this Moorish power, this tremendous Moorish power. We have an issue with among conscious Moors. We're fighting each other. We're divided. We got to work together. We're individualing it, concerned about our individual. How long is that going to last, though? Is that sustainable? Individual, 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 individual. Me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I. F the Moors. F them. All that's 33 years I've heard this. That has to change. That's not sustainable. 33 years of observation. Where has it gotten us? I will have Taj Tariq Bey on in 2 weeks, November 10th, for the second time. And Taj and I have known each other for 33 years this month. I'll have Vicarious Eo and I will start our series, our Moorish Connection to Masonry series next week. Every first Monday of the month. We'll do that for 6 months on this platform. Moorish Connection to Masonry series. Vicarious Eo and I will be doing. I've had Vicarious on for about 5 times already, I believe. And so, and as I said, Kanah will be back doing his 4th Monday of the month, as he was scheduled to be on tonight. And I will have Taj Tariq Bey on every other month. And he is scheduled to be on in 2 weeks, November 10th. And he will, the third time, he'll be on the first Monday in February. So it'll be his third time, first Monday in February. So I'm looking forward to next week and to Taj Tariq Bey. I have Shem Il that'll be on for the second time, November 17th. Then we have Al Kanah doing his 4th Monday. That's November 24th. And I have Sister Salah, who is a teacher and who studied with me for 3 years. She will be on for the first time on the Monday, December 29th. And she'll be doing a lesson on reading and etymology. I'll have, then El Kanah will be on this. El Kanah will be doing a Christmas lesson. That's on December 22nd. I have Hank Rising. Uncle Hank will be on Moorish Monday. as my guest on December 8th. Brother Hank will be on as my guest on December 8th. And I'm waiting to get some Abundance Child to get back to me about December 15th. So that'll close out the year. So we'll close out the year with Sister Salah, December 29th. Yeah, so I'm definitely excited, to have Hank. Hank will be on as my guest. He's agreed to do that. He hasn't decided on his topic yet, which he has time. So continuing. Does anyone have any questions? Type your questions in. I'm going to go until 8:30. Brother Hank has a scheduled program after this. Powerhouse speaker. So stay tuned. All right. So I'll be ending in 45 minutes, and then Hank, I think it's 9:00. Hank is scheduled to come on at 9:00 with his guests. And so stay on tune and stay on if you want. Very, definitely I'll probably tune in as well. So once again, if anyone interested in getting in my books, go to mooresandmasonry.org. I'm going to look at the chat right now for comment. I'm looking at comments. All right, type your questions in. All right, YE Girl 9, Peace Rising from Georgia. All right. Jeffrey Bay 236207, a good book by John K. Doshio, A Cultural History of the Atlantic World. All right. I don't see a lot of comments. I usually have salute, Sir Crystal. All right, we have at Bain Alexis Bay -J9K. Explain who the Shriners are to clarify the difference and the origination of the Moorish regalia. Well, the Shriners are a body of Europeans. The ancient Arabic orders of the nobles of the mystic shrine, now known as Shriners International, that was established in 1870. So collectively, that because the order is called the Ancient Arabic Order of the Mystic Shrine. So collectively, they're called Shriners. You also have that's the Europeans established in 1870. Now you have our brothers, 20 years later, established the Ancient Egyptian Arabic Order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine. That's known as the Prince Hall Shriners. Those are our brothers. Those are Prince Hall Shriners. Ancient Egyptian Arabic Order of the Nobles of Mystic Shrine. So they are also known as Shriners. So these Europeans hijacked it. Sir Walter Fleming, the founder of the Ancient Arabic Order of the Nobles of Mystic Shrine, hijacked it our Moorish Fez. And they used the Burgundy Fez, the Moorish Burgundy Fez, and they called our Moorish Fez, renamed our Moorish Fez the Shriners Fez, because Shriners, that's the name, Fez. Oh, Shriners Fez. These are Englishmen and Scottishmen and Italians and Polishmen and who are United States citizens, and there's 206 shrine temples in the world, Panama and Mexico, I forget other, and I think that got in to maybe 70 different countries. I think Canada, right? So that's who they are. And then our brothers, not knowing who they are, they also call it the Moorish Fez, the Shriners Fez. So I hope I How did they conquer us, bro, if we were superior? All right. The infighting. The Moorish Empire in Europe, volumes 1, 2, and 3 by S.B. Scott, put out in 1889. And when you win their Moorish dynasties, a Moorish dynasty would be the reigning period of a royal house. The Umayyad dynasty, the the Umayyad, the Almohad dynasty, the Amavad dynasty. Within the various dynasties, Moorish dynasties, you had caliphats and emirates. And the caliphate is led by a caliph, and the emirate is headed by a emir. So that you had this Moorish political structure for almost 800 years in Europe. When you had infighting, so because the Umayyad dynasty was taken over by the Almohad dynasty. They didn't work together. The Umayyad dynasty, the Almohad dynasty, the Almoravid dynasty, they never worked together. They were warring. They war against each other. So, and warring against each other. So now you're looking at 700s, 800s, 900, the 1,000, 1,100. So what the Europeans did was observe our infighting. They organized in 1180. They established the St. John's, the sovereign order of St. John's and Hospitaller. The word hospital is the name of an order that's named after. The hospital is named after an order. The sovereign order of St. John's and Hospitaller, established in 1890, 1180. And the other night orders. So the Aragon, Castile, France, England, Italy, Germany, Portugal established night orders, military night orders to fight against the Moors. That was their whole purpose. What was the purpose of the night orders? There was a military orders. They were established. The reason why they were established to fight against the Moors, to end Moorish rulership in Europe and beyond. They united, pooled their resources. They united their forces against us. They worked together, not fighting each other, because they had a common goal. The common goal was to end Moorish power in Europe and beyond. That was their common goal. So I want to make sure we're clear on that. Thank you for the questions. Type your questions in. Go back to the comments. All right. Type your questions in or comments. All right. I have 35 more minutes left. Any more comments? I usually have a lot more comments on this. Wow. All right, so I'll continue. And I'll come back. All right, so my book, How Are Venus and Moon Rule? I'm going to read part of the introduction. Addressing the political motive of the distorted and corrupted view that the woman and the ancient crescent horn-headed goat misrepresented as the devil are the causes of the world's evil. Honoring the ancient moon and Venus deities in ancient world culture and their connection to the moon, the planet Venus, fertility, and women, restoring the ancient female fertility agriculture deities supplanted by the male non-fertility and non-agriculture images. This author's objective is to reconnect the defeated and denationalized Moors classified as Black, Negro, Colored, and African American in the United States Census Bureau to their ancient astronomical and agricultural knowledge of the moon and Venus planting and harvest cycles, as well as their ancient matrifocal societies and female fertility deities. The restoration of this ancient knowledge to the minds of the defeated Moors is the symbolic removal of the Moorish scimitar placed above the head of the Moabite woman, crescent moon and five-pointed star as displayed on the Moorish fezzes worn by the European Shriners since 1870. In the early 1870s, Walter Fleming, the founder of the Shriners, placed the Moorish scimitar above the crescent moon, five-pointed star, and woman's head, representing the uprooting of the ancient practices, observations, tracking, and calculation of the cycles of the moon and the cycles of the planet Venus for the development of the Venus and moon calendars to calculate planting and harvest cycles. Edgar J. Banks, in his article entitled The Origin of the Crescent and the Star, states the importance which the ancients attributed to the moon has survived in the Orient where the months are still lunar. The most jealous occasion in Central Arabia is when the new moon rises to end the long month of fasting. Then the shrill cries of joy of the women resound in every village. When the moon is eclipsed, the people are horrified. Even in our own country, some farmers plant the potatoes in the full of the moon, and the mothers wear their babies according to the phases of, and the mothers wear their babies according to the phases of the moon. The new moon, which with a brilliant star or planet near it, may have impressed the Babylonians as the favorable sign, and thus the crescent and star became the picture word for incarnation. The European Shriners placed the Moorish scimitar above the head of the Moabite woman, crescent moon, and five-pointed star. I've said that. I already have here. The five-pointed star and the 584-day cycles of the planet Venus. Susan Malbrath, in her book Gender and Roles of Lunar Deities in Post-Classical Central Mexico and Their Correlations with the Maya Era, reveals how the Aztecs recognized the connection among the fertility nature of the moon, woman, and agriculture. States a connection between the moon and childbirth is quite ancient because the 17th century chronicler Jacinto de la Serna notes that Aztec women used the lunar count to their pregnancy. As the moon goddess Tozatu is closely associated with pregnancy and childbirth. She displayed a role in divination based on the birthday of the child in the sacred calendar because she was the patroness of newborns. Talozotule is the only goddess shown giving birth to a child in the Aztec codexes. Talototel gives birth on a blanket of lunar crescent appropriate to her lunar nature. The European Crusade and Inquisition military strategy of misrepresenting women as the cause of the fall of man and the original sin is actually a cover-up for the European males taking control of the agriculture, natural resources, and lands of the women's native, aboriginal, and indigenous peoples. This European colonization birth theft strategy has been socially engineered to mentally disalign the native, aboriginal, and indigenous peoples from their natural, fertile, cyclical, regenerative, and renewal process of nature and her divine rhythmic connection to women. Restoring these ancient, divine, matriarchal, natural, and social ways to the minds of the native, aboriginal, and indigenous peoples of Moorish descent, classified as Black, Negro, colored, African American, Latino, Spanish, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, Indian, West Indian, and the United States Census Bureau, will help to end the world's dominance of the militarily, artificially social engineer patriarchal mind control strategy of suppressing women and their offsprings perpetually for generations. Furthermore, the European linguists' deceptive practice of misrepresenting the Sumerian word for the moon, sin, as the wrongful act is a social attack on the ancient Sumerian and Mayan moon and Venus agriculture calendar and culture. Due to European social engineering, the masses of people view Jesus as the savior and light of the world, and the devil as the cause of the wrongs of the world. Astronomically and epistemologically, Jesus is the savior and light of the world. Jesus is the actual physical sun. In ancient world culture, the sun was personified as a male figure. This astronomical and epistemological truth about Jesus is not known to the masses of people throughout the world. As a result of the European suppression of this astronomical fact about Jesus, the general public falsely think that Jesus was an actual man who lived over 2,000 years ago. The European reconstructors of world history and culture created the devil by distorting the goat into a deformed, grotesque, and ugly figure. This European colonial social malady and mind control tactic has robbed the people of the ancient knowledge of the moon calendar and the moon's natural rhythm and cyclical connection to woman. The goat was chosen as a symbol of the moon because of its crescent-shaped horns. The creation of the devil is the European colonial attack on the ancient moon fertility culture, moon calendar, and woman. All right. Let me see any questions so far. Type your questions. I think we have a question here or comment. All right. Right on. We got one. Randall Padaway Ill. When do you think these Europeans are going to tell the truth about who we are? All right, let me address this. Brother Randall, I greatly respect you, brother. Please don't take this to heart, brother. We have to change that. That has to be rephrased. because your question is, when are the Europeans going to tell the truth about who we are? You took the power out of your hands. Randall, I need you to rephrase that. You took the power out of your hands. I mean that, so that's, you took the power. This is how you took the power out of your hands, Randall. You're waiting, so that's, you're waiting on the Europeans to tell the truth about who we are, as opposed to you doing what I'm doing, been doing for 33 years, or whatever, however you can do it, however you can do it, writing, speaking. Put the power in your hands, Randall. Put the power in your hands. Abdullah, what can I do, Abdullah, to help awaken our people about the truth of who we are? Type that in, Randall. Abdullah, what can I do to help awaken our people about who we are? Never take the power out of your hands. Never take it out of your hands, waiting for our subjugator to teach us when, or figuring out when, and or asking anybody when they're going to. Randall, when are you going to? When are you going to get into the game and help? Let me see the response. I got. Mhm. All right, Sante El Bay. When Prophet Noble Drew said, I am depending on your support to get them back to the constitutional fold again, that they will learn to love instead of hate, and will according to love. Sante El Bay, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, supporting our free national constitution of the United States of America is the free national constitution. I won't address that. That's a misconception, but I'm not, because I don't want to stay, I want to stay focused. We addressed that as one of the misconceptions on Israel and I, misconceptions at large in this Moorish movement, parts 1 and 2 on New York Perspective Talk Show. So go to New York Perspective Talk Show part. We did that last Wednesday, part 2, addressing the Moorish misconception of the in this Moorish movement at large, using evidentiary standards. So I don't want to address that because it, be a whole presentation on that, so they can really clearly, yeah, that's a misconception. Any other questions? I've got 20 minutes. Continue. All right. So I'm just reading another X from Moors and Masonry, part 1. The ancient Arabic order of the nobles of the Mystic Shrine's organizational structure of the imperial divan is presented below. The imperial potentate is the highest ranking officer within the shrine, and the position or seat is symbolic and in honor of His Imperial Majesty the Emperor Morocco. Other secret society orders use the titles Sovereign Grand Commander, Royal Monarch, and Illustrious as derivatives of the Moroccan sovereign title, His Imperial Majesty the Emperor Morocco. The word potentate is derived from the Latin potentia, meaning of great power. One who is bestowed the title potentate is one who wields high controlling power. A potentate may also be referred to as a monarch. Thus, the political term monarchy has its origin herein. A monarchy is a person who reigns over a kingdom or empire as a sovereign ruler, a constitutional king or queen, or any person holding a preeminent position of power and authority. Past imperial potentates. I'm reading from page 51 of Moors and Masonry Part 1. The European Masons proudly don the Moorish fez as a badge of honor for conquering the Moroccan Moors in their lands. Now the European Masons wear the Moorish fez to symbolize their claim of Moorish nationality, sovereign authority, of which they exercise in a substitute and temporary capacity. All right, so excerpt from treaties between the Moroccan Empire and the European powers reveal that the imperial structure of the Moroccan Empire is preserved within the ancient Arabic order of the nobles of the mystic shrine or shrine's organizational structure of the imperial divan. Notice the title divan in the excerpts, that's Divan, in the excerpts of the following treaties. Treaty of Peace and Commerce between Great Britain and Tunis, signed at Tunis the 5th of October, 1662. Articles of Peace between the Most Serene and Mighty Prince Charles II, by the grace of God, King of Great Britain, France, and Ireland, defender of the faith, and the most excellent signors, Muhammad Bashar, the divine, and the noble city of Tunis, Hagar Mustafa Day, Murat Bey, and the rest of the soldiers in the kingdoms of Tunis, concluded by Sir John Lawson, Knight, the 5th of October, 1662. All right, so we have Articles of Peace and Commerce between Great Britain and Tripoli, signed at Tripoli the 5th of March, 1676. Article 1. In the first place, it is agreed and concluded that from this day and forever forward, there be a true, firm, and an inviolable peace between the most serene king of Great Britain, France, Ireland, defender of the Christian faith, and the most illustrious lords, the Bashar, Day, Aga, Davan, and governors of the city of the kingdom of Tripoli and Barbary, and between all the dominions and subjects of either side, between all the dominions and subjects of either side, and that the ships or other vessels and the subjects and peoples of both sides shall not henceforth do to each other any harm. Hence, an injury, either in word or deed, shall treat one another with all possible respects and friendships. So we were seizing their ships. So this is, ironing out those matters. But the ships will continue seized by us. The key is we see Divan, Divan, which is the name of the organizational structure of the ancient Arabic order of the nobles of the mystic shrine. See any questions, comments? No more questions or comments, right? You see hand. All right. These are some of the names of the ancient Arabic order of the nobles of mystic shrine temples. Moorish names: Abba, Abdullah, Algeria, Aleppo, Al Mena, Aloha, Arabia, Arab, Antioch, Ansar, Anizah, Anezeh, Al Hassa, El, and Hassa, Hasa, El Jebel, that's El, Jebel, Jebel, El Kahir, Kahir, El Kala, that's Kalil, Kalah, El Karuba, Karubal, beginning with El Katif, then Katif, Katif, El Karah, Korah, El Medea, El Minia, El Raid, El Zago, Luxor, Mos, Omar, Oasis, Now, Filet, Raja, Rajah, Ramesses, Sabar, Saladin, Tunis, Tripoli, Wawa, El Yaduz, Yelduz, Tehran, Tehran, Zor, Zor, Zora, Zorah, Zuwa, Zurah, Zemzem, Zem, Zimbo, Zembo, Mullah, got Morocco, Musla, Muslim, Mizra, Medina, Medea, Mecca, Barak, Arabia, Iraq, Baghdad, Anna, Alcazar, Ali, Gan, Al-Qadir, Al-Azhar, that's Al, space, Al-Zar, Azhar, Al-Bar, Albedo. Just giving you an idea so you can get a feel using Moorish names. These are names of shrine temples. Names of shrine temples. Moorish names. Cultural identity theft. And guess what the Shriners' official greeting is? Assalamu alaikum. Look into their constitution, within their constitutional frame, their official greetings. They're Assalamu alaikum. Or they call their organization, their constitution or their bylaws, I believe. Assalamu alaikum. I'll look that up again and I'll post it. You have the mystic order of the veiled prophet of the chanted realm. Now, there's 105, 150 shrine grotto temples, and they, like the Shriners, they use Moorish names for their temples, and they wear the Moorish black fez. The Shriners wear the Moorish burgundy fez, and the mystics or grottos wear the Moorish black fez. All right, and of course we have 10 minutes left. All right, brother Randall, Padaway ill. It's all respect, big brother, and I don't take it to heart. But Noble Drew Ali said, I'm going to make the Europeans tell the truth. All right, I'm going to say this again, brother, because you said but. You said but. You said but. Noble Drew Ali said, I'm going to make the Europeans tell the truth. So Randall, once again, you're taking the power out of your hands. So you're going to wait around until they tell the truth. Randall, what are you doing in the meantime while you wait around for the Europeans to tell the truth? Because you say, but what you guys said, I'm going to make the Europeans tell the truth. I get that. But in the meantime, what are you doing while you're waiting around for the Europeans to tell the truth? What are you doing in the meantime? Like I have not, for 33 years, I've not been waiting around for the Europeans to tell the truth. I'm not waiting around. I'm not I'm not waiting around. I'm not waiting around for the Europeans to tell the truth. I'm not waiting around for the Europeans to tell the truth. 20 years of research. 20 years of research. Next December, we're celebrating the 9th year anniversary of the release of Moses Macy Part 1. The 9th year anniversary of Moses Macy Part 1. 20 years of research. Historical societies. Pennsylvania Historical Society. The Library of Congress. Rutgers University Law Library. Going to Indianapolis, Shriners Parade to take pictures. Going to George Washington Masonic National Museum to take pictures. I'm not waiting around for them to tell the truth. Now, if you want to wait around, that's fine, but you're taking the power. I hear you. I hear you say what you quoted you all. I got that. But in the meantime, what are you doing to teach our people? Or are you going to continue to wait around for the Europeans to tell the truth? What are you doing in the meantime? I have now 33 years. Etymology and vocabulary. My Masonic A newspaper. Taj and I put out a newspaper, the American Star in 2020. 2001. I got over 200 letters from brothers and sisters in prisons in the Midwest, Western Pennsylvania. We sent books. We sent newspapers. They established study groups. 2001, 2002, 2003. In the prisons. I've been doing Moorish Mondays for almost 2 years now. Prior to that, I'm just like the Moroccan Post School of Government and International Law. I worked with Shem Malachi Bey, King Al Bey, worked with Taj Tariq Bey. I've had almost over 35 guest speakers on this platform. 35. Abundance Child, Taj Tariq Bey, Shem Malachi Bey, Israel Bey, King Al Bey, Rasiri and Il. Rasiri and I will start our Moorish Connection to Masonry series. Next week, we'll do that for 6 months. First Monday of the month. Every first Monday of the month, Rasiri and I will be doing the Moorish Connection Masonry series. El Kanah coming back, doing monthly, every fourth Monday of the month. Had Pecola Kusar Il on 5-6 times. Crip Jesus, Shemil, Abundance Child on twice already. Trying to get on for the 3rd time for the 15th of December. I had Anita Powell, Luisa Flores, and Luisa Flores connected me by 7 and 8 of her connections. I brought them on. Brother Tiny, Pastor Reggie Mitchell. I had Queen Nina Mormack, who I met 3 years ago or 2 years ago on the WhatsApp group. I had on. Had Sister Filet on. founder of the Million Woman March. Hank Rising will be on this December 8th. Say that said Crip Jesus. I'm just trying to, because I've had about Sister Sasha. I've had Alexander Muil. Because I've had about 10, at least over 10 sisters on this platform. So I'm not waiting around. What are we doing in the meantime? Are you going to, Randall, are you going to use that? Because you said but. You said but. You wrote but. Are you going to use that as a crutch for your inactivity? I don't need to do anything. Because Juali said, I'm going to make the Europeans tell the truth. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to be active. I don't need to write books. I don't need to do lectures. I don't need to do no Facebook Live. I don't need to post stuff on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I don't need to connect with people. I don't need to network. I don't need to teach. I don't need to write. I don't need to do articles. I don't do anything. Because are you going to use that? We're getting our ass kicked. What are we going to do in the meantime? My brothers and sisters, I want to thank y'all for your attention. Greatly appreciate you. I appreciate all the conscious Moors who have been active over the years. I salute you. Sirius Ill and I will be starting our Moorish Connection to Masonry series. We'll do that for 6 months. Next week, I'll have Tasha back on for the second time on November, 2 weeks from now, November 10th. Then I have Shemil, November 17th. Kanah will be on the November 24th. Then I'll have Abundance Child. I think she has agreed to do December 15th. Hank Rising will be on December 8th. And Hank was conscious before me in the late 80s. And look at Hank. Hank had used his platform. Hank's brought in many speakers. Hank's offered this platform to me. He reached out to me in November of 2013 and asked me if I wanted to take over Moorish Monday. And I've been doing this for almost 2 years. So Hank's not waiting around. Hank has built this platform, Magnus Crystal Pyramids, and brought in a myriad of speakers and even put me on, every Monday, Moorish Monday. Hank was the one. Hank created Moorish Monday. It was another conscious Moor before me. That more conscious Moor transition, Hank reached out to me in November of 2023, 2 years ago. And I've been doing Moorish Monday for almost 2 years, since December 2023. I'm not waiting around. I've been consistent. Brought in over 35 guest speakers, networking, organizing, 35 years nonstop. Masonic Gate, a Moorish Civil Letter, Moors and Masonry Part 1. I'm not waiting around. I have networked with many people. So, Brother Hank, I want to thank you for ingratiating me with this platform. Stay tuned. I think it starts at 9 o'clock, y'all. Hank will have a powerful guest on. Once again, those who are interested in my book, go to moorsandmasonry.org. Go to moorsandmasonry.org for Moors and Masonry Part 1. Moore's and Masonry Part 2. How are Venus and Moon rule? Etymology and vocabulary. Etymology and vocabulary supplementary 1. The Masonic compass square and the connection to measurement and timekeeping. Go to mooresandmasonry.org. I'll see you next week. My series and I will start our Moorish Connection to Masonry series. Peace, everyone.